So you guys might have been seeing that this NBA offseason has been insane. We see Kevin Durant go to the Rockets. We seen the Denver Nuggets finally get a little bit of help from around Jokic so that way he doesn't have to do all the work. But the team I want to talk about right now is the Los Angeles Clippers. They just added Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. I already know what everyone's going to say. Oh, Chris Paul, he's old and he's retiring next season. Bradley Beal is washed. First off, Bradley Beal, I don't think he's washed. I just think he was in a terrible situation. They legit did not want him on the Suns anymore. So how can you play for a team who doesn't even want you, who makes you uncomfortable, who literally is trying to trade you and they are actively telling you, yo, Bradley Beal, we want you off our team? But for the most part, I think Bradley Beal is still a really good player. I think he could compete on many teams in the NBA. And he's on the Clippers. And this is a contending basketball team that we're seeing. Last year, they were the 6th seed in the Western Conference. They went up against the Denver Nuggets and lost in a Game 7. And now you're adding Chris Paul, you're adding Bradley Beal, you got Brook Lopez. You have so many pieces on this team. Like, you have depth. Chris Paul, I think we all still think Chris Paul is a really great player. He could come off the bench, and he might be the best backup point guard in the NBA. He's not going to be playing that many minutes. Obviously, Harden's the lead guard, but Chris Paul off your bench, who can still generate offenses, who makes players still better in 2025, man, that's an amazing player to have on your team. With the addition of Bradley Beal and Chris Paul, it just makes the Clippers an A-plus team. The Clippers in the offseason this year, they were really aggressive. They got John Collins. They got Brook Lopez. They got so many good talent on this team now. And I know you guys are going to say, this team is old, a retirement home. No, this is a really good basketball team, and these guys know what they're doing. Bradley Beal, I think he could still hoop, give you 15 to 20 points every single game. Kawhi Leonard, we all know if he's healthy, he's going to be a problem. James Harden, just last year, we seen him holding down his Clippers offense while Kawhi was gone. I believe Harden played about like 70 games. I could be wrong. I have to check. But Harden was holding down his Clippers team. And not just Harden, Norman Powell, he gets credit too. He's no longer on the team. Zubac, he gets credit as well for leading this defense. The Clippers had like the 5th best defense in the NBA, and a large part of that is due to Zubac. Zubac was the defensive anchor on this team, one of the best rim protectors in the sport, and we seen him go up against Jokic and really look good versus him. So I don't think Jokic is going to dominate that Zubac matchup. So I think the question I should really be asking myself right now, if I'm really high on this Clippers team, is do I think they are legit contenders in the Western Conference? And the answer to that is yes. The Clippers, they are legit contenders. They're probably the 3rd, 4th best team in the Western Conference right now. I still go OKC. I would probably take the Rockets in Denver. And then that 4th spot, it's wide open in the Western Conference for me. And I think the Clippers, they could win about 50 games this season. If everything goes right for them, they can do it. I think they won 50 last year. Kawhi only played 20 games in the regular season. About 20. And they still were able to get 50 games. So imagine, with Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, man, yeah, I think this team is definitely contenders for sure. Then they have one of the best defenses in the sport. Like I said, top 5 last year. Zubac was holding it down. Harden's been engaged on defense. I know everybody talks about Harden and the lack of defense he plays, but Harden, he has been engaged on defense. And that just tells me you're not watching games if you're not saying Harden's playing defense, because he has. I'm not saying he's an elite defender. No, I'm not saying that, but he's been engaged on defense. And now I just want to look at this Clippers roster once again. Let me tell you guys who is on this team. James Harden, Bradley Beal, Chris Paul. They still got Bojan, Chris Dunn, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, Derrick Jones, Nick Batum, Zubac, Brook Lopez. This is a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. Top 3 to 4 seed in the Western Conference. Of course, they have to stay healthy. Most of them. Kawhi won't be playing that many games. But if this roster is healthy, come on, bro. What are we talking about? And now I have to talk about injuries. Yes, injuries. Injuries are the worst thing that could happen to you in basketball, of course, obviously. But on this Clippers team, I just think that's something we have to take into fact. Let's start with Bradley Beal first. Bradley Beal was somebody who was hurt on the Suns, and that's another reason why they did want him off that roster, and that is fair. But Kawhi Leonard, he's another guy who's in and out of this lineup. Last season, like I said, I believe he played less than 60 games last season. And that's a big issue. When he's the best player on your team, he's a good defender. He's somebody the whole team is supposed to be looking to. But it seems like in this Clippers team, in this case, that it seems to be James Harden as the leader. And there's nothing wrong with that, because James Harden, he is a really great player. But Kawhi Leonard, he's supposed to be that better player, especially when they're resting you and then they bring you back into the playoffs. You can't go into the playoffs just averaging 22, 24 points a game. That's not going to get it done, especially against a Denver Nuggets team who has the best player in the NBA. That's not going to get it done, Kawhi. So all I'm saying is that if you are healthy, play to your standards. But for the most part, I'm worried about injuries just a little bit, but not too much with this roster, because I think they all knew, like, okay, some of us are older guys, and I think everybody, they have a good roster. They have about 10, 11 guys who could play, compete, and win regular season games. Chris Paul played 82 games last season. 82. Now, he's not a little starter, but he is still doing that at 40 years old. That's insane. But I will be definitely making another video about this whole roster. I want to talk about everybody, many more guys, because there was so many people I probably didn't get to, like John Collins, Brook Lopez, probably Zubac a little bit more. But if you guys like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, 6 likes, and I'm out. And let me know if you guys think this team is contenders or not in the Western Conference. Personally, I think they are.